So 33 inches, you mark the 3 inches. This is my 33 inches here. Then you mark your hem allowance. So for the hem allowance, I'm leaving 2 inches. So from here, from the top, you mark the 3 to the till you get a straight line. Then you roll. Make sure you have the same measurements. Then from the hem, from 33, measure 2 inches. So 2 inches already marked. I'm just going to roll it out. Now I'm going to get to the hip point of the skirt. The hip point of the skirt is 11 inches. So I have my 11 inches here. And you take it to the side. You get 11 inches also. So you roll across. Now before you even go ahead with all this measurements, rolling the length and the hip points, what you have to do is to get the width of the, first of all, get the width of the pattern. So for this measurement, the waist, the hip is 43. You divide 43 into 2. So because this is going to be this skirt is going to be the back and front. So when we're using the quarter measurement, so back and front, CF and CB of the skirt. So I'm going to get half of the hip measurement. Half of the hip measurement is half of 23 is 43 is 21.5 inches. So you come here, from here to here, you measure 21.5 inches. You roll. Measure 21.5 inches, 21.5 inches, 21.5 inches, and you roll a straight line. So this is it. Then you add your seam allowance for your zipper. So I used the 1.5 inch for the zipper allowance here. So this is the CB line, first of all. CB line, then the zipper allowance 2. I used 1.5. Just going to roll a straight line. So zip allowance. Now this is my hem allowance. So this is my hip point. Hip point. And this is my raised nail. Now to get this raised nail measurement, you're going to measure about 8 inches, 8 inches, 7, depending. But I'm using 8 inches here, so I'm going to mark. So I've gone ahead to mark 8 inches from here, from the hip point to this place, 8 inches. Hip point to this place, 8 inches. So you roll a straight line. So that being all this measurement being gotten, the next thing is we need to do is to start imputing the measurements. So for the waists, we're going to divide the measurement into 4. The waist measurement into 4. So for the waist of this pattern, we have 31. 31 divided into 4 is 7.75. That's 7 3/4. So we're going to measure 7 3/4 here on the, this is the waistline. You mark 7 3/4. Now on the hip line, you're going to get quarter of the hip also. Quarter of the hip of this pattern is 43 divided by 4 is 7. It's 10 3/4. 10.75, 10 3/4. So this is my 10 3/4 here. Then on the hemline, remember we're making a straight skirt. On the hemline, you take the measurement you have there, take it down. So on the hemline, I'll also measure 10 3/4. and take it down also. Measure. So that's it. The next thing is to use your French curve to connect your hip to your waist, your hip to your hemline. So this is the French curve and the hip curve. You take it from your hip, you place it like this, you connect. And you take your ruler. You need to get a very straight ruler, a very long ruler, longer ruler, so that you can achieve this. So take your ruler to place it on the hip to the hemline. Use your marker to flex it out. So this is it. Then for the back, we're going to do the same thing. The only difference is that we're going to have a dart at the back. So the back, this is the waistline, 7 3/4. Then on the hip line, we'll measure the same measurements. So this hip line is going to touch because it's the same. 7 3/4, then 1 inch for the dart. I'm going to take half inch on this side of the skirts at the back. So I'm going to connect this to the hip. So we'll have the same measurement here. It's going to touch. So this is what you have, the same measurement. The same measurement you have here, you take it down. So of course we'll have the same measurement here, So now for the back, we're going to create a dart. So for the darts, I'm going to get half of what I have here. So this is the broken line represents the waist measurement. Why this additional one? This other line, it's the dart measurement, 1 inch that was added to it. So from this broken line, I'm going to get half of it. So here, I'll just place it like this. So half of it is here. So you can divide 7.5, 7 3/4 into 2. The measurement you have is going to be half of it. Or you can do it this way. So I'll just measure like that. So this is it. I'm going to go and roll a line of 4 inches. Sometimes it's usually more than that, depending on what you're working with. Let me use this. So 4 inches. Some darts are usually longer, but this is just a basic skirt. So we can as well. So you mark your half, whatever it is you have here. So I have almost 3. This measurement here almost 4, but it's not 4. So I'm going to take it down here so that I can have a straight line by 4. And I'm going to mark half inch on both sides, and I'll connect it to this. So that's that for the back. So the next thing I'm going to do is to get the waist reduction at the front. So this is the front. For the front, I'm going to come on the waistline. I'm going to come down by one inch. And I'll take the curve on the waistline at the CF. Come down by 1 inch. Take the curve, you connect it back to the side waist. So this is a basic skirt, straight skirt. This is what the basic skirt, straight skirt looks like. So now because I need to do a fitted skirt, I'll go ahead and shape the skirt. In order to do that, I'm going to, because I've gotten my raised knee, I'm going to deduct the formula is to use your hip measurement. Hip measurement minus the amount of either 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8, depending on the fabric you're working with, and also depending on how fitted the client wants it. So, but I'm going to be using 5 inches. So I'm going to be minusing 43 minus 5. That will give me 38 inches. So 38 inches here. So I'll come here. We measure 38 inches. So what do I have here? This is from here to here. I have 10 3/4. Then I'll take that 10 3/4 to the back. So this is the front of the skirt, to the back, to the front of the skirt. Ten 3/4. So you get 38 inches. So this is 34, 36, 37, 38. So this is 38 here. 19 inches is 38 divided into 2 is 38. So here you have to measure what you have left. So I have 2.5 inches left here. So that's what I'm going to be taking out from this pattern around the knee part. So at the front, I'm going to take out 1 inch. Since I have 2.5, then I'll take out the remaining 1.5 at the back. So on the knee, I'll mark 1 inch. Then I'll come to the hemline, I'll mark 1 inch also. I'm going to connect it to this point. So let's shoot this. I'll connect this to the hem. Let's see it. So for the back, I'm going to measure the same thing. Okay, I'm going to distribute the 1.5 equally. So that will give me 1.5 divided into 2 is so this is 1.5. This is 3/4. So I'll mark that on this side. So this is giving me 3/4. Then the remaining one, I'm going to mark it on this side also. So you can either take it down or you can connect it back to this straight line. So this is what I mean. You can take this down, or you come here, you mark 1 point, the amount that you took out around the nail, so 3/4, or you can just take it straight down. But I think I'm going to take this straight down since it's going to have slits at the back. I'll just take it straight down. Then you connect to your hip point. So the fabric I'm working with is a bit stretchy. That's the reason I'm using 5 inches for my nail shaping. Come here, I'll do the same thing. Connect this to the nail. At the hem on this side, you take out that missing measurement, 3/4. So this is it. So this is the shaped part, and this is the shaped part. Now this is the straight line. Should have used the broken line to indicate this, or used another marker. But I hope this is clear. Now at the waist side, at the back, I'm going to go in by 0.5 inch to make the waist a bit firm. And connect it back to the hip. Just connect it. So it's not getting to the hip, so you can just, so we're cutting this out, and the shaped skirt is ready. Please note I'm cutting through the penciled skirt, the shaped skirt. So not a straight skirt, a shaped skirt. So you cut like this. Through this line. Now you have to figure out where you want those slits to be, because there's going to be an opening at the back. So you have to figure that out. This is a 3/4 skirt. So from the hemline, so this is the line. You have to determine how many inches you want this. So I'm going to mark 7. And I'll connect it. So that if you're doing events at the back, or you're making it with a lap, you can decide to cut it straight and add your allowance. You can decide to cut it straight and add your allowance. So in the cutting the fabric, and the allowance will be equal, depending on the style. So you can decide, like I said, cut straight, add the allowance, the same amount of allowance, just because you want to put it straight. But I just did this one because of this cloth. So this is the back, this is the front. So let's still go ahead and cut this waist reduction that was done here. Now prepare the band. For the skirt band, you have to figure out what the amount of band, how wide you want the length of the band rather. So you have to figure out the length of the band. Then you mark it. So what I did was just figure it out and take my curve and I created that band. So the back, the allowance at the upper part has been drafted. So you label. So this is the upper part. This is the down part of the band. So CB, SB, then band, back. So you're going to trim it out. Then after that, you unpin this. No, you get your. You're going to get the allowance. So instead of cutting this out, you have to add seam allowance of 1/2 inch for the joining of the band. I'm just going to put it here. Then connect. And I'll pull it off. So you need to through this side. Now you're going to release the tape, the dart from the tape. So this is how you're going to be cutting it. That way you hold your dart when you cut it on your fabric. When you cut the pattern rather. So it's going to go like this. So when you hold the dart, the pencil, the band. And this is the band. When you hold the band, the dart. Of course, we're going to add our seam allowance on this side and on the zipper side. So let me indicate this out. Trim this thing out. So that's the band for the back. I'll do the same thing to the front. Have the necessary seam allowance. The front does not have a dart, so it's just simple. Cut it out and add your seam allowance. So this is the CF side. So I needed to place it because I needed to place it the way I placed it that way because of the way the pattern is. So this is the CF. And this is the side front. So on pin, get your necessary allowance and you're good to go. Do the center front. One quarter seam allowance. So you get your seam allowance all round. For the back of the skirt, I increased the length of the darts to 5 inches, so that I will have enough that length. Then you tape it down. Tape it down. So I'm going to measure the same amount. I used 2 1/4 here. 2 1/4, 2 1/4. Then you connect. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to take a paper, fresh paper, and trace out this band. Trace it out. And your pin. Now you're going to flash it out. So this is SF, this is a CB. Now you're going to add seam allowance to the upper part, 1/2 inch, and to the down part, because you're going to attach it back to the skirt. So this is not enough. I'll have to put another paper underneath it. For the back, you're going to add CB. You're also going to add allowance because you need to. You'll be adding allowance for the zipper. The zipper that was removed because of the shaping. Because of the shaping, I was supposed to include the allowance, so I totally forgot. So I'll have to add it back. While I was cutting this, I was supposed to create another allowance for the zipper, but I forgot. So I'm going to add that same allowance here. Let me see what I used here. So this is 1 1/2. I'll just use 1 1/4 for the zipper allowance. So this is it. Then you add your 1/2. Then you also add the allowance that you need. You're going to be using for the skirt, because as it is, we don't have any allowance on the skirt here. So you also add that allowance here. So if you're using 1 inch, 1 1/2, you add it. So I'll be using 1 1/4 too around the side. At the side front. So you're going to connect. I'm going to trim it out so that I can get the 1/2 inch remaining. Should have made this more paper. Place it at the center to avoid all this extra paper being attached to it. So yours can be different. So look for my tape. So this is the front. I have done the necessary. I've imputed the necessary allowance for it, and just cut it out. The next thing is to also get the allowance for the skirt, the upper part, before you trim out the excess, the band that is left. So we'll cut. Now the skirt pattern is complete. The next thing is to place it on the fabric and we'll cut. So the skirt is ready. So this is it.